It's Point Horror Book Club night, my favourite night of the month, when I get to chat about point horror with all you guys and special guest. And we've got a really good special guest coming back, joining us today. Hello everyone. The brilliant Dustin can read. Hiya. So Dustin's going to be joining us. Hopefully he can. Invited him in. Hopefully he'll be here. I'm excited. Oh no, is it not working? Is it working? Yay! Hey, Dusty Bird.
Hello.
Are you all right?
Yes, I'm doing great. How are you?
Oh yeah, not too bad. I thought I'd go the full green effect,
good.
green nails, green
Good to
lights. And I did have like a green light above me, but I realised I looked like a bit like a witch. So I turned it
Yeah,
off.
it might look a little ghoulish, so.
Yeah, turn that one off. So thank you for joining us, Dustin. I'm so glad. I can't believe it's been a year since we covered the first Nightmare Hall.
I know, and that's this one.
Yeah.
Silent Scream.
Silent Scream, that's it.
Yeah.
How crazy that's been a year. I can't believe
I know.
it.
Time flies.
Oh, happy Saturday, Brooker.
Hello.
So thank you for joining us again. I'm so glad. Like, you suggested, shall we do the second book? And I was like, yeah. So I think it should become like a regular September thing.
Yes, I think so too. I was thinking the same thing. Because I was like, back to school time, might as well. Let's do that.
Oh yeah, Raj just said a year. It's just like flown by, and Karen said the same thing.
Yeah.
And to become a mum said this is her first Nightmare Hall. Nightmare Hall.
That's a different book, Shelley.
Yeah, it was a different book, definitely. Oh God, and it begins. So first Nightmare Hall book that she's read. So an interesting one to start with, definitely. But if you don't know Dustin, so Dustin hosts a brilliant podcast, two brilliant podcasts. So we've got Dustin Can Read and Watch, and then we've got the Rewatch Recap,
Yes.
which you've been recapping the Scream TV series, the first series in that, haven't you?
Yes.
How's that been going?
It's great. It's really been fun. It's been fun to even re-listen to, because we recorded a lot of these like over a couple of months ago. So it's been really fun to like go back, like, oh, I forgot I said that, and we have My So-Called Life is going to be the one coming up next. We're only going to do one season of a show, or one series of a show, whatever, how you say it. But, at a time, and it's going to be fun. It's going to be a lot of fun. So I hope everybody will join us.
Yeah, definitely. And I love all the little posts you've been doing about like making the drinks and things like that.
Yeah.
They're just hilarious and brilliant. And I really want to make some.
Yeah, so don't make the first one. The first one, pure vodka.
When I was watching that, I was like, I wonder if Dustin realises.
It wasn't so bad. We diluted it with a little water. It was okay. But yeah, straight vodka, no.
Oh my gosh, I would have been on the floor, definitely. Our Cozy Liverpool home has put, don't talk about Lacey like that, which I presume was the reference to me mispronouncing Nightmare Hall. That's what we're going to call it now. Yeah, that's it. So do check out Dustin's podcasts. Honestly, I can't recommend them enough. Everyone knows I love Dustin. And I'm a huge Dustin fangirl. So yeah, check them out. They're super good.
I'm a Shelley fangirl.
So this month we have jumped back into Nightmare Hall, The Roommate, and you've got one of the covers, haven't you, with like the window cover?
No, it's not. I hate that it's not, but. And I also have a girl. It's from a girl named Alana Kemp.
Oh.
She signed it, and she has her. I'm not going to show her address, but she has her address back here for like an order form. There's an order form for more books in the back, and her address is back there. Which
I wonder if she still lives there, and then like you'd be like,
family,
I've got your book. Oh.
It says this book only belongs to Alana Kemp. Like, not anymore, Alana. Not anymore.
I love that when you find like little bits of history in like
I know.
books. It's
She
like
wrote it at
old
the
books.
top and she wrote it at the bottom. So
It was very much hers, very much
yeah.
hers. Fear Street Diary says at some point they stopped doing the double covers. Oh,
Yeah,
that's a
I guess when
shame.
they went into reprint, I guess this is probably the second edition, and they didn't do them after that. So
Yeah, yeah. No, and your covers were the UK covers were okay, but I wish we had those like window covers over
yeah,
here. I mean, it's all right. It's not as cool as the US ones,
yeah.
definitely.
I like how I really do like how our '90s, '80s and '90s like teen horror books over here had that movie poster feel to them, and
Yeah.
I really like that, and I wish they would do that again. But
Oh, maybe someday soon, maybe.
maybe.
Maybe. Eddie May is trying to get me to say the word I can't say, which is poltergeist. But we won't go into that today.
Poltergeist?
I can't say it.
I missed that, and all I saw was you talking about how you couldn't say it.
I can't say it. Just
poltergeist.
Poltergeist.
No, just geist. Like
it's
Christ with a G.
You know when you've just said something the same way for years and then you just can't stop saying it that way?
What's like what Benedict Cumberbatch and penguin?
Yeah, that's it.
You couldn't say penguin?
Oh, that was funny. And Eddie's video said, "Did I hear my so-called life?" So
yes,
he's a
you
fan.
did.
Yeah,
I'm a big fan of Angela and From My So-Called Life, so I have the book versions here as well.
Oh wow. So. I'm so jealous. I want those. Right, down to business. So the roommate, I'm so interested. Me and Dustin haven't spoken about what we thought or anything. So all our reactions to this
I
book.
literally finished this like an hour ago. I've been reading it all week, like when I could, and then I finally just like I need to sit down and finish this because I had like 50 pages left. I was like, gotta get through it. So I it's fresh in my brain. So.
Oh, that's good. That's good. So if anyone's got any comments, pop them up. We'll try and read them out as we go. And obviously, spoilers ahead, probably from the offset for Nightmare Hall, The Roommate. So just to say that, because sometimes I forget and I think, oh no. But yeah, so essentially, The Roommate is about a girl called Danny who starts college at Salem University. Which apparently has a fairly high academic standard. Did you know? Mm-hmm.
It must be Ivy League, yeah.
Mm. And she moves into this all-girl, no boys allowed dorm room on campus called the Quad. So it's not actually set in Nightingale Hall like the first one. It's actually set more in the campus this time. Which was interesting, really. Like, did you expect it to be set in Nightingale Hall?
Yeah, I did, because I mean, since these were the first of this series of books, it was kind of reminding me of like Fear Street, where at least the first like group of books took place on Fear Street. Or they all do at some point. They go to Fear Street, and all you do is hear about Nightmare Hall. That's all you hear, and that kind of disappointed me. I was like, what? This has nothing to do with Nightmare Hall.
Yeah. Yeah. It's there's a couple of references in there, isn't there? To I mean, they're meant to be standalones, but there is a couple of references to Nightingale Hall, and obviously one of the characters from the first book gets a brief mention. Linda Carlisle, I think it was.
Yeah.
I just realised that almost sounds like Belinda Carlisle. I've just got
I know.
That.
Yeah. And by the way, Ian Banyan was in the first book. He was one of the roommates in the first book.
Oh, yes.
I wrote down Ian. I remembered that name. I don't know why it popped in my head. I was like, Ian.
Right. That makes sense now, because I think in my notes I wrote, Ian, yeah, who's he? 2 lines, and then he just disappears. But now yes, of course.
There's a cameo.
Was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. And I love books that do that when they make like little cameos of other characters. I know Taylor Jenkins Reid, really not horror or anything,
right.
But Taylor Jenkins Reid does that really well in her book. She puts like little cameos of other characters from like Daisy Jones and things like that in her other books, and it's just nice to spot them. I didn't get that Ian Banyan one. Well done, Dustin.
Yeah, and I see here a couple people are asking, like Ghost in the Pages and Speedway Chick were actually asking about who the author of this one was, and it was ghost written, I think, right?
Yeah. So it's ghost written by Deathkins. Well, I call her Deathkins, but it's D. Deathkins, but I call her Deathkins, who is actually is obviously not her real name, but it's Nola Thacker. So she wrote this one, The Cemetery, and The Bride, which we got over here as Point Horror, and then I've got one of the US versions, so Mirror Mirror.
Okay. This is the first one that Deathkins I've read, so
yeah,
and she didn't even get to take credit for it. Oh well.
I noticed the good thing about this. I did notice in the front of the book, which is very rare nowadays, when something's ghost written. I don't know if you can see it because it'll be inverted, but let me see there. So it does actually say Nola Thacker there.
Oh, okay.
Which I
wonder if it says it on mine.
Yeah, for a 90s book, to actually acknowledge...
It does. It says Nola Thacker.
The author. Yeah. I thought it was quite... I was a bit, like, proud, because I thought not many authors or books really do acknowledge the ghostwriters nowadays, so I thought that was quite interesting. But, yeah, poor old Deathkins does get a bit of a bad rap with Point Horror. The Cemetery especially, which we'll have to read at some point, But yeah, Karen says she's never noticed the name Deathkins, that name, so the way it's spelled. But yeah, I think she ghost wrote a few Nightmare Halls. I think probably about 5 or 6 of them. I'll see if I can. I've got a list of them, the ones that she ghost wrote.
There's like 20 of. There's 20 something Nightmare Halls, aren't there? Like
there is in the US, and then I think over here we've got about 12 or 13 of them.
Okay.
So we didn't even get to finish the series over here, which was sad.
They must not have been popular at the time then.
Yeah. I think it was because it got to the end of the run. So like Point Horror started dying out about 97, 98.
Okay.
So we were way behind the US as well with like titles and stuff. So I'm guessing that's why. I don't know. So basically, Danny, after filling out her college campus roommate form as carefully and precisely as she possibly could, she becomes sweet mates with Racy Lacey, Mousy Maureen, and eventually Moody Margot. So basically, they get to share this like suite together, isn't it? And they've got like a shared bathroom with the phone is like in the middle between them.
In the bathroom.
I found that so funny.
Like, do you remember though in the 90s when people would have a phone in their bathroom and it was like the height of luxury? I could poop and talk on the phone.
Oh god, it's like we can do that nowadays.
It's like nothing, but I mean you don't want to, but still.
Oh yeah,
that's always weird.
I always remember the first time I read it, I was just like, a phone in the bathroom? That's like, whoa, super cool. But yeah, so basically I made a little joke saying they form the Spice Girls, but no, they really don't. They just become roommate BFFs. And then the roommates begin to take each other's things like gold sweaters, cashmere sweaters. And then very, 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 very far into the book, when things start to happen, Danny starts to receive phone calls and horrible messages in the mirror, written in lipstick, and she starts obsessing over her roommate Margot, and thinking that she is the one responsible. But who could possibly be doing it? Poor Danny, right? Poor Danny. Yes.
Yeah, we'll get into that in a minute, but
yeah. Definitely. So obviously it opens up with this creepy, menacing like prologue, where this unknown person's like packing for college, and they put a knife in the bag, and all
they wipe it off. They wipe off the blood first.
Oh, they wipe off the blood. Yes, I forgot about that. And then they all the list of things they can't take to the door, but the list doesn't say a knife, so the knife's all right to go.
You gotta have a knife.
You gotta have a knife.
Yeah.
So basically, the prologue is what the story kind of focuses on, because not too much happens. And for full disclosure, like I always give this book a bad rap, so I'll let you know by the end if I change my mind on the reread. But yeah, so it kind of focuses on this prologue as the basis to what's going to happen, and then you're trying to work out who it is. So what did you think of the opening? Did it intrigue you? Did it hook you?
It was okay. I mean, I was like, well, somebody got killed, and apparently they're planning to kill again.
Die.
Like, where did I put my underwear? Where's my makeup? Oh, can't forget my knife. And then wipe off that blood. All right, ready to go. What?
Oh God. Yeah, I thought it was lucky that was there, because I know the point of it was, the setup, but it's lucky that was there, because not a lot happens until towards the end of the book, really.
Yeah.
But it kind of does keep you intrigued because of that, like, creepy prologue.
Yeah, you're like, when's the knife going to come into play? Yeah, that's pretty much.
You're like, ooh, a knife. Ooh. I like their style. So obviously we get some good introductions to the 4 main characters. So I thought what it would be fun would be is to see who your favourite character was, and then we'll kind of like chat about them and then try and cover all the 4. So who was your favourite?
I'm gonna go with Maureen/Mouse.
Oh, good choice. So
mainly, first because that's my mom's name is Maureen.
Oh.
And then I always like the whole the transformation type thing of a character going from meek to confident. I've always liked that kind of story. So, and I was like, oh, poor girl. Then at the same time, I was like, she's going to be the killer. She's totally going to be the killer. Like at first, I was like, the quiet ones are always the ones, right? But still, I was like, I'm rooting for her.
Oh, yeah, so. She was sweet, wasn't she? She was meant to be a bit clumsy. I think the description of her was like pale skin, like days in the library. And I'm thinking, that's why I'm a bit pale, because I'm always reading inside. Yeah, and
she's very sheltered. That's
why. Yeah, she's very sheltered, and she kind of did like this little mousy squeak when she got a bit flustered.
Yeah.
But yeah, I liked Mouse. We call her Mouse. But my favourite bit was when she had the makeover. And poor Lacey drags her to have this makeover.
I didn't know where that was going, because I was like, what are you doing, Lacey? What are you doing to her? Like, yeah.
You got a bit protective there over little Mouse.
I did not like it. Like, Lacey, don't you mess with my girl. Don't do it.
Oh, bless. But yeah, she kind of just went along with it, didn't she? I think that she put red streaks in her hair and cut her hair or something, and then
did they put red streaks in her hair? I just remember cutting her hair.
There was a mention at the end of red streaks.
Yeah, they said something like, I'm thinking, and then they don't really confirm it.
No,
they just she had a new haircut, new. I'm like, at first I was like, who is paying for all of this? Like,
yeah, that's so true.
And you find out she has a credit card, and I'm like, your parents, your sheltering parents, are going to be furious that you've spent all this money. And she's like, I don't care. Oh. I'm in college, whatever.
Oh no, that's so true. Who? Yeah, exactly. Our cozy Liverpool homes, but love how Danny was horrified everyone would call her Mouse. Then a page later was happily calling her Mouse all the time. Yeah, that's so true.
How did you know that name? She was like, I didn't. And she just gives it away. I'm like, shut your mouth. Don't assume people ever know everything about you. No,
that's true. Oh, my lights have gone off. Oh, got a ghost. Ooh,
don't speak ill of Mouse now.
Oh no, look, what have I done? Oh no, it's not coming back on. Oh! Oh no, hang on. Oh no, what have I done?
It looks like Christmas in your place.
This is why I shouldn't mess. Oh, I've done something now. I've lost the green. I'm not going to touch it now. Leave it, Michelle. Leave it. Yeah, so she had this obsession as well. I love, there's a whole scene where she like dresses in like this brown outfit as well.
It was apparently a big jumpsuit with a skirt on top of it. Or unitard or something like this. I have to see this outfit because the way it was described, it's like she looked great. And I'm like, really?
Yeah. It's one of them. We need the haunted outfit to draw it for us so we can picture. We'll have to send it over to her and see if she can bring it to life. It was like some weird skirt splashed with like red, brown and gold and purple or something with some suede boots. But yeah, it that made me chuckle. And I think, was there a mention about a chin to slippers robe or something as well? Like
she was like a full-bodied robe. Yeah.
Oh dear. So yeah, and then the other scene. Why are you laughing?
Eddie May or how you say the name. But,
oh yeah.
There's a poltergeist in Shelley's room. See, you better get that name right, or they're just going to keep coming.
Just honestly, I can't say it. I can't. Don't make me say it. Oh dear. No, but it's true. It's like half of them have gone off, and then the other half are on. But yeah, that chin to slipper bathrobe thing was funny, and then also the way that Lacey says she finds this note that Maureen Mouse has been writing. It's got the word sexual expression on it or something. She's like, it's for my paper. We know.
She's never writing smut. She's gonna be like a secret, like Danielle Steele writer, and we don't know about.
Oh yeah.
It's always the quiet ones. I'm telling you, they're the freaky ones.
Yeah, definitely. And Melina from She Gathered Books has said she loves how Mouse owns her introvertness. And I agree with that. Like at the end, she kind of comes full circle, really, and kind of owns it, doesn't she? And so this is me, and I'm not going to change for anyone kind of thing. But I'll keep the red streaks in my hair.
I mean, what are you going to do?
Yeah. Eddie's videos put my thoughts exactly, Dustin. I was like, the bills for these are going to be massive. Because they go to the mall as well, don't they?
Yeah.
And like buy loads of clothes and cashmere, all expensive stuff. And yeah, what was Maureen hiding in her suitcase? She got so flustered at the start. So yeah, that's a point. It must have been the note on sexual expression. What do you think?
I'm thinking it was probably something that's shaped like a cucumber. That's all I'm saying. She told you, the quiet ones.
Oh, God. I've got a funny story about something like that to do with a suitcase. It's basically my friend at work, who will remain nameless.
He will. Oh, Lord.
No,
okay. She. Okay. Well, either still. Like, I mean.
She was going to stay at her boyfriend's on the weekend. So this was like a Friday. And she had like this suitcase and like a backpack. Anyway, all day, you know what it's like. She was telling me, oh, I can't wait for the weekend. We're going to be doing this and doing that, like, you know. And anyway, when she left, she picked up this backpack, chucked it on her bag, and then all of a sudden I hear zzz in her bag. And she's the type of person, she didn't explain. She was going, oh my God, oh no, oh no. Like having a panic.
It's a bomb!
Trying to get this like backpack off her back. She like slung it on the floor, whacked it open, all these clothes were flying out, and then she goes, it's my electric toothbrush.
Okay.
Oh yeah, so a bit off topic, but it was hilarious. Honestly, it was.
This is why you keep the electric toothbrush at home and you just take a regular toothbrush for travel. Easier that way.
Oh yeah. And Emma's put, my friend, not me. Yeah, right, Shelley. No, for once it wasn't me. I was just there. when it happened, and it was hilarious. So yeah, I reckon that is what Maureen had in her suitcase. Definitely.
It sounds like it, like, you know.
Yeah. It was so funny. I'll never forget it, honestly. I love telling the story. And every time I see her, I'm like, do you remember that time? She's like, yes.
We're not going there.
No, I saw a lot of people saying how much they loved Lacey, and Lacey and Mouse had like quite a good little friendship. I did like their like dynamic, even though Lacey pushed her into a lot of stuff. But what did you think of Lacey? Did you like Lacey?
I didn't like her at first. I liked her toward the end when she kind of calmed down a little bit, you know, and she wasn't as like Samantha from Sex and the City. Like, well, actually, Samantha seemed tame compared to Lacey. Lacey was just like, I want to jump on everybody and get it on, and then I'm done with them. And she's like, every guy's my type. I'm like, really? Not a good look. Not a good look. Like, be a little picky. Just a scunch, you know?
A little bit. But yeah, I really liked Lacey. Basically, I just liked her because, I mean, from page 4, we get like a really good introduction of her.
Oh, yeah.
Where she's in like this towel, and like, does she drop the towel or something as they walk in? And
yeah,
she's like naked, and she just doesn't really care. She's like, hello.
And they're like, hi.
And then I think she's looking for some underwear, and she's like, I'm Lacey, as in panties. And oh Lord, dear. Yeah, she made me chuckle. Let me just see what a few people put about Lacey, because it's a bit further up. Everyone's laughing at the tuss brush story. Emma put, I loved Lacey. She was unapologetically herself and didn't have a type. All types welcome. Yeah. And then we've got, I'm sure I saw someone else say about Lacey. Yeah.
She was definitely a Gemini.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because she even says at one point, I'm having that conversation with my good self and my bad self in my head.
Oh, yeah.
And the fact that I know Geminis are very charismatic and they're open to like hang out with anybody for the most part. And they're very, you know, so that sounds very much like she was a Gemini to me.
Yeah.
I'm slightly into astrology, slightly, not like.
Oh, no, I love that. I love that. What do you think? What star sign do you think Mouse was?
Oh, Mouse? She probably was a lot like my mom, which is probably a Sagittarius.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, Ghost in the Pages, but my favourite was Lacey, which is Ghost in the Pages' sister's name. Oh, I love that. And I can't remember. You're going to kill me. I can't remember your name, but it's FRS now. I think it was Fran. Oh, no. It'll come back to me, but just remind me. But every time Lacey says serious, like an OTT party girl with her whips and chains. She was like, honestly, she's I loved her, and I just liked her for the more for the comedy value than anything. Just it was a good contrast, especially with Mouse. I thought like them two were really good together. And I loved her. I love her. We all need to be a bit like Lacey. Well, a bit reined in, not too much Lacey.
Yeah, and she was definitely like, I thought if anybody's going to get killed in this book first, it's going to be her.
We can only dream someone got killed in this book, Dustin.
I know, because she like cried wolf at the party, help me, you know.
Oh, yeah.
And then later on, she's making comments when she's throwing up, and somebody kill me, I want to die. And I'm like, oh, don't say that. It's coming, girl. And of course, it didn't happen. But
it didn't. It didn't happen. We didn't get any deaths in this book, did we? It was very disappointing. But yeah, I think as well, there's a few like little bits of dialogue. She came out with some like weird things like Tarif, and like weird things like, listen, I've got a motor, which obviously means hurry up. And then a weird one was consistency is the hobgoblin of little minds. I wrote down. She was
she had weird little isms that she would very, very strange.
Very, very strange. And yeah, she got very excited about the dungeon, with the whips and chains, her kind of place. And I think as well she said something like, sometimes I'm just out of control, you know. And I thought, yeah. She really was. So what did you think about at the end, Racy Lacey kind of confessing that she isn't really like this, she's actually like an A across the board student, and that she actually had it all figured out, and she knew who, I might as well just say it, she knew Danny was doing all these things to herself. Like, what did you think of that? Did you believe her, or do you think she was like one of these people that was just like, yeah, I knew?
No, I believe it, because as it went on and certain things started to happen, she was calming down, and she was actually doing nice things for Mouse. Even though her inner monologue sounded like she was going to be pranking her, or I'm going to play with a mouse. And I'm like, but that sounded kind of, nefarious in some way. But then as it went on, I was like, well, she's not doing that. She's being a good friend. This doesn't make sense. It was very, the writing wasn't consistent in that regard. Like, it was like, what are you trying to make me think? Because I'm like, am I supposed to like her, or am I not? I don't get it. And I felt like it was hard for me to, but as it went on, I could see, and she explained, oh, okay, that makes sense. Okay, that makes more sense. And I got it. I liked her a lot more at the end, and the fact that she was like, I get straight A's. I just act dumb because I don't want people to think I'm this brainy type that does nothing. And that's why she was trying to pull Mouse out of her shell, because she was like, I don't want you to fall in that trap too, it felt like,
Yeah. No, definitely. And I think that's why I liked her as well. I really liked her. I think she's actually one of my favourite point horror characters. I don't know why, I just connected with her. Oh yeah, Farah. I'm so sorry, Farah. See, my brain's not functioning. I'll remember now. A lot of people saying, I just saw inside the cover, put no deaths, no piranhas, no ghostly football players. Very disappointing. Do you think like it would have been good just to have like one of them killed off at least? What do you think?
I thought somebody was going to come in and find a dead body at some point. Like somebody had been killed while they were out.
Yeah.
But that never happened.
No, it didn't.
They killed a ghost in a sweater. That was it.
That's so true. To become a mum's but I've only just realised no one died except for the nurse, which was before they got to uni. So so the nurse was like off the page death, but that doesn't count. An off the page death is a cop out. Emma's put Lacey was a party girl, but it was Danny who was getting off with the first guy she meets. Yeah, that's very true. And Karen's put, fairly certain in the 90s I thought only Nans wore cashmere. I think I wore cashmere in the 90s.
I had cashmere. Karen. Don't discriminate against the cash.
Yeah, I'm sure I had cashmere jumpers. Are they quite itchy? Or am I getting the wrong type of material? They can be quite itchy, can't they?
No, they're pretty soft. I don't know about your cashmere, but mine's really soft.
I must have had a knockoff cashmere.
Although I had a really nice light blue one, and then I didn't wear it for some time, and I picked it up, and literally moths had eaten at it, and I was like, oh, there were holes all in it, and I was like, no, but oh well.
Oh God. You just imagine you putting that on. Eddie Mays put, I thought there would be more about Nightingale Hall and the deaths. So obviously in the first one, The Silent Scream, there is a few more. There was death.
There was more action, if anything.
Yeah.
I can't remember if there was an actual death in it besides Giselle at the very beginning.
Yeah.
But there was more action in it as far as like people getting locked in the basement and knocked out, and the whole like ghost letter thing that flew up in the guy's face, or the picture that flew up in the guy's face, and he was trying to kill her. So at least there was action involved. Like there was really, and it didn't just happen all in like a few pages. Like it spread out a little bit more. But this definitely was happening at the same time as the first book.
Yeah, I was going to ask you that. Do you think it was the same time or at a different point? But it was definitely the same time, wasn't it?
Right, because they said Giselle died last spring, which is what happened in the first book. She died last spring, so it just makes sense that this was happening. Plus, Ian Banyan was there. All these same characters were there. Well, and so I'm like, well, if all these things are happening around the same time, this school needs to shut down.
Yeah, it really does.
Like, this is a menace.
Others are like that.
Yeah. It's a menace. It's a menace to education and to this town. It's not good. Don't.
I do hope they did. I can't really remember many of the other Nightmare Halls too well, but I do hope they kind of carry that on, that all these things happen at the same time, and it's just like a nightmare, literally.
People running past each other, somebody screaming with a knife. I got my own problems. I'm sorry. I'm across campus, and you don't know, my roommate's trying to kill me.
just deal with it yourself. I haven't got time for this rubbish.
Like, I'm getting stalked. I'm sorry, I can't help you. I found this girl dead in my dorm. Just all the campus. They have like they should have a huge amount of campus police.
Oh God, they didn't seem to have any adults around at all, did they?
No.
Really? Bless them. Bless them. That just made me chuckle. Farah's put, poor Danny. It did start to feel choppy and weird, but made sense at the end that it was mostly Danny's point of view. Very unreliable narrator. And I think, I have to be fair on Deathkins here, because I think she did do a good job in the respect of changing the point of view throughout the book of the different characters, and it kind of wasn't it didn't feel forced. It kind of just flowed like that, and then at the end you kind of got those paragraphs with the different point of views of all the four, and then that did flow into how she did the end. Which I don't think I appreciated when I first read it, when I said it was probably one of the worst point horror books I've read. I don't think I appreciated that, but I think she did do a reasonable job. What do you think? Do you think she did well with that, with the twist at the end?
I like the twist at the end. It didn't make sense at the time because I was like, knife. It's just like one sentence, and then the knife, and I'm like, wait, what? There's a knife? And I was like, who has the knife? Who brought the knife? And then it sounded like she was getting chased by somebody with a knife, and then she ran into Lacey, and it sounded like Lacey's the one with the knife. And then they're coming after her, and I'm what? And then I felt that could have been clearer just a little bit. I know we were trying to get, Danny's point of view, which was all jumbled and whatnot, but at the same time, it felt like I need to know what's going on, and I don't need an exposition to tell me what I just read. You know what I mean? Like, what was maybe the whole she figured it out because of this and this and this. That's fine, but not. By the way, she was a killer and she had a knife. Oh. That was her who had the knife. I didn't get that when I was reading it. It was kind of confusing. And it was very, very strange. And I had a feeling, I was like, maybe it is Danny, but I was like, is she imagining it? Because nobody heard the phone ring. And
and
I was like, if it's in the middle, if it's in their bathroom, but if it's in the bathroom, it's most likely, it's an old building, so it's most likely tiled, which means it's probably going to echo. If it's ringing, so both the suite mates are all going to hear it, and it just doesn't make sense. And then, there's that one point where Danny, something's up with Danny because she's like, Kendra comes in, we need to report that. She goes, no, I don't want people to think I'm crazy. I'm like, everybody in the dorm has come to your door at that moment. They already think you're crazy. Just report it, I would have just reported it because it's not like they're going to do anything if they can't catch anybody because there was no phone call. But
no, definitely. No, I agree with that. It's like, why didn't she just report it? It would have looked less sus as well
Yeah.
if she reported it.
But she was unnecessarily paranoid. Like, she got paranoid really quick too. Like, she
Yeah.
got one phone call and it was haunting her for like days. And I'm like, everybody's like, let it go, don't worry about it. And she didn't let it go. And then they called her and she kept having nightmares about it. And then somebody was following her. And then she was in the topiary garden. And, oh my gosh, there's a bunny rabbit that's trying to kill me. And
oh, we got to talk about that scene.
Like, what? And
she was literally crazy. Bless her. Bless her cotton socks. But Nikki's put, it wouldn't be point horror without a crank call though.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. But it was weird, like those calls were very strange. Oh bless. Karen's put, maybe the head of the university is secretly paying off murderers to keep their dull life interesting. Yeah, that's true.
And I agree with that to a degree, because I mean, even in the first one, it was a guy who wasn't even enrolled in school there. Like, who was vetting these people? Like, who was like going through like, all right, you can go to school here. I mean, this girl just killed somebody. How did she get into school? Her parents weren't around. She obviously was not allowed out of the house. How did she get into school that quickly?
Yeah, and why didn't the parents? The parents obviously haven't reported her missing either.
How long were they gone all the time?
Yeah, there's plot
your
holes.
Your child lives in your house in her own little wing, and she's obviously cuckoo, and you're just going to allow this one nurse to handle it all?
Yeah.
I don't get it.
No, it was very strange. It kind of reminded me a little bit of the setup in Pet Sematary, with in the attic, the sister gets put in the attic by the parents when the one character was younger. It just kind of reminded me of that in a weird way.
It felt a little Flowers in the Attic too at the same time.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. Cameron put, I had literally no idea who the villain was until it was revealed. I fell for every red herring. So who did people think it was? Who did you think it was, Dustin?
Like I said, I thought it was going to be between Mouse and Lacey, one of those two. Yeah. So I thought Margot was way too obvious. And it wasn't until like they started questioning whether or not there was a phone call. I was like, why did nobody hear that phone call? But I was like, well, maybe they're pretending that they didn't hear it. Lacey said, I sleep so deep, I don't hear things. And Mouse didn't say anything. So like, well, maybe Mouse did it. You know what I mean? And yeah, I don't know. I was kind of thinking one between the two, but
yeah, no, yeah, definitely. Because this is a reread for me. Because I've just seen Overdue Notice has put, I had to reread that part since it was so abrupt, because it did kind of just come quite quickly. Emma's put, I couldn't guess who the killer, we say killer. The confusion added to that for me. Vix Ellie Eva has put, it really confused me too. Yeah, so Eddie May's put, it was confusing. And to become a mum's put, I often get confused at the end of point horror books, as they often rush in the reveal in a handful of pages. Definitely. Yeah. And I think because this was a reread for me, and I knew what it was. I remember reading it the first time and being confused and having to reread the ending just to understand what was going on. But because it was a reread and I remembered the end, and who it was and everything, I read it a little bit differently. So I understood it a bit more this time.
You were looking for the signs beforehand.
Yeah, definitely. So definitely the reread for me did change my mind slightly changed my mind. Farrah's put, admin department is a bit lax at the university. Lisa,
is there a book about the faculty? I'm sure there is, and I'm guaranteed there's probably something about the faculty somewhere there. The administration, the faculty, whatever. Because there's 20-something books. There's got to be at least one about a crazy teacher or something.
Gotta be, yeah. Perhaps we'll come across it when we're reading them. Lisa from Beaver Books put, this is point horror, parents don't care. Our Cozy Liverpool Home, Zelda. Yes, that was the name of the character I was thinking out of Pet Sematary, that it reminded me of. And Rachel, Emma thought it was Mouse. So yeah, so definitely. Melina's put, I did feel sorry for Danny not being able to have access to a normal life before uni. It felt like she longed for friendship. So do you think that was her motive then? What do you think Danny's motive was?
Yeah, she wanted a normal life obviously she's kept alone. She doesn't have any peers around all the time except for some nurse, and her parents are never around. So she definitely wanted she wanted to have a normal teenage life with friends and the college experience and all that, but she obviously was not made for it,
No. Oh, bless her. I feel a bit sorry for her.
Yeah.
I thought it was everyone except Danny. Farah's put, our Cozy Liverpool Home thought it was Mouse. Raj, it's all retro. I thought it was Mouse. Oh, poor Mouse. She was like prime number one suspect. I had a feeling it was Danny, but the reveal happened so fast. Lisa thought it was Mouse. Oh, Eddie May thought it was Mouse. Oh, that's so interesting.
Karen did too, it looks like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really interesting. I'm trying to think back to when I first read it, who I suspected. But when I first read it, all I remembered about this book was the end and then the hedge, which we'll talk about in a second because that was the best scene for me. But all I remember was that, and I just remember reading it thinking, nothing's happening. What is happening in this book? Nothing's happening at all. And Speedway Chick has put, now that we're pulling it apart, I'm even more confused. What even happened? So
I'm still confused too. I might have to flip back to that last chapter or the one right before it and be like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
As I say, like, in hindsight, it was clever because the flip of the narrative is what is the trick, and that's what Deakins did. And I actually think it was cleverly done because there's a few books that I've read with similar reveals, and it's hard to do. It's like it's a hard switch to do, and I think I've got to give her credit. She does get a bad rap.
I will give this to Nikki Boy Ket said I thought it was Kendra. I did think that at first at one point, especially when she came in. When she came into the bathroom and the lights went out, she goes, here. I'm like, is it her? I just went, is it her? Is she doing this? Like, and I thought maybe it could have been her because she was like, we should report this. The calls are coming from inside the dorm. No.
No, but I did. Yeah, I wish it was Kendra. That would have been like a really good reveal. Like, super, super good. I would have loved that. So, did you have a favourite scene in the book? Like, was there a favourite moment? Because, as I say, not much happens, but did you have a little favourite moment?
I don't know. Like, I guess, like, the scene where she came in and she found Margot sleeping on her bed.
Oh, yeah.
And with the book, I was reading your calculus book, and fellas, you're reading my calculus book, and I love that wasn't in her head. And I wrote a note, and I'm like, "Ooh, is this a single white female situation?" Like,
that's exactly what I thought.
She's borrowed all her clothes, and then she's sleeping in her bed. I'm like, "Okay, Goldilocks, what's going on here?" And I thought that was I kind of like that situation. I don't know about a scene, but yeah, I like that.
Yeah, no, I thought exactly the same as you, like single white female vibes, especially with the no clothes, no suitcase, no sign of any clothes and borrowing it. And I think Margot does say, like, she looked up to Danny. She is like a bit of an inspiration. I mean, how you could know that when you've not known her very long, I'm not sure. But
I guess because she had it together and she had all these new clothes and she thought she had it together. She was playing the part really well.
No, definitely. Yeah. And Lisa B for book has put, yes, that was my favourite scene, weird and creepy. That was really weird. Imagine like getting home and seeing someone else sleeping in your bed. Mind you, it's normally the cat for me. The cat normally steals my.
I mean, at least she was
side of
on
the bed.
top of the covers, and she just fell on top of the bed and was asleep. It wasn't like in her bed, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, can you imagine, like, what are you doing in my bed? I'm fine. I'm not doing anything. I peed a little, you know, or something. Just some weird stuff going on. Like, are you soiling my bed? Like, what's going on? Like,
Yeah, and at least there was no buzzing sound.
oh man, it's a toothbrush. I swear.
It's a toothbrush, I promise. Wasn't doing anything.
Where do you have teeth? I love that we just went there. That's great.
Oh yeah. It always happens, Dustin, doesn't it? It does always happen.
We're just dirty. We have dirty minds. We can't help it.
It's the first thing I thought when we were just talking about it, and I thought, do I say it? Do I say it? Yeah?
Do it. Just do it anyway. We're adults. We're adults.
God.
Yeah.
Yeah, adults loosely. Farah's put the party was interesting. And agrees about Margot sleeping in the bed. In my book, the spelling of Margot kept changing as well, like a couple of times. The T was left off a few times. I was like, is this a different character? Is it the same character? But yeah.
Her name the whole time was Margot.
Margot.
Margot and Margot. They're twins.
Nikki's put, but what about the letter opener? So the letter opener for me,
no, when she was like, what's this knife? She was like, and she wrote it, and I wrote this down, the whole, the quote about that. And she goes, and Lacey's like, nice letter opener. And Margot's like, it's very old, a family heirloom. Like, what was that ... about? A family heirloom. ... Like,
heirloom.
Okay, what's that about?
Yeah. But that was definitely a red. Obviously, it was a red herring. It was a knife at the end, and not that letter opener, wasn't it? I'm sure it was. Now I'm like, but because there was a mention of a knife and then a mention of the letter opener, so I presume that was to throw us and make us forget about the knife that was mentioned.
Well, we're supposed to think that the letter opener was a knife because Danny thinks it's a knife at first, or says she thinks it's a knife, and she goes, "No, that's a letter opener." It's like, "Oh, that's a nice letter opener." Like, can you tell a knife? I don't know. I started thinking more of a dagger than like a butcher knife. You know, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah. But the thing is that they had that whole list of what they couldn't bring to the dorms. I can't believe it wasn't like, don't bring your own knife or letter opener to the dorm. Oh, God. Cameron's put unrelated, but Dustin, please do a bookshelf tour soon. She's obsessing over all the fabulous
I got more up top,
her.
too. You can't really see them, but there's a few more up top.
It's amazing. Dustin's got an amazing collection. Our cozy Liverpool home, Margot's reaction to Danny saying it was her jumper. What was that? So yeah,
I know, she got right up in her face, and that's what I'm seeing because Lacey saw it too. She goes, "You gave it to me." Like, that's what made her look nuts. And Lacey was like, "Chill, guys." You know.
But do we reckon that Danny did give her the permission to wear the jumper and she just forgot, or did Margot just take it? What do you reckon?
Well, I think she said she gave it to her, which I bet you Danny did, and just because they said she like convinced herself otherwise of all these, like she convinced herself of the phone calls, she probably convinced herself of the or the conversations she had or didn't have, you know, and she probably lost some time in there, But I was like, and maybe just maybe Margot did react that way, and it wasn't in Danny's head. Because maybe Margot, since she's apparently from a foster family, she didn't have much money or anything like that. Maybe she's been accused of stealing in the past, and you know what I mean. Like, I'm kind of filling in the blanks, but maybe that's why she just didn't like to be told she stole something.
Yeah, she did. She did go mad. And Marge just, but I did find Margot's demeanour and actions a little strange. I've got a bit behind on the comments, so I think I'm just at the point where I must have went zzz,
There's
because
a lot of
there's a lot of
laughers
laughing
right there.
and Shelley's. I would never look at electric toothbrush the same. Dustin, we went there in the beginning with Nightmare Hall. We just knew from the beginning. We set the tone of the chat right from the beginning. That's what we did. Yeah, and Farah's pointed out on page 36 there was this odd vulture comment, and I was like, are they trying to say food was bad or good? There was a few food comments.
There was, yeah, I wrote those down. I was like, so Danny's breakfast when she and Margot went to eat, this is what she had.
Yum.
Bacon, eggs, grits, hash browns. I don't know what creamed chip beef is.
No, me.
I'm like, what
I was
going to
ask you.
That sounds like beef with cream and like maybe chocolate chips or something. I don't know. And cranberry muffin and buttered toast. I'm like, that's a lot. Like, that's a lot for me. Like, I can just imagine a small teenage girl. I just thought that was really strange. And then later on, she goes downstairs to the dungeon and gets M&Ms and taco chips, which are for you crisps, I guess.
Yeah.
And but I guess that means there's a tortilla chips or like Doritos.
Yeah.
And she mixes them together. I'm like, ew, like,
I was a bit like, ooh. But that was after, she gets those after she's just judged another girl for getting 4 Mars bars from the vending machine.
I know. She was like, what a well-balanced meal. And I'm like, the girl just looks at her like, she was like, oh, okay. I'm like, maybe you shouldn't comment on other people's food.
And now you're going to eat M&Ms and...
She's going to eat crazy kibble. That's what
tortillas.
It was.
But yeah, that vulture comment as well, when I think, is it Karen who has this package from home, and she's like, oh my God, the vultures are coming or something. But yeah, there was a lot of food comments. But I think, I can't remember which chat it was in. I think it's when we did Teacher's Pet. It was brought up how food is barely mentioned. Like, do these girls eat in Point Horrors?
They go to the mess hall, but you don't actually see them eating. Yeah.
No, definitely. How many letters does Margot open? Yeah, exactly, with that letter opener. I'm just catching up now. Margot had issues too. Yeah, I agree with that. She did. But I just think in hindsight, it was quite good, all these little red herrings. Danny was losing time and memory, like Ginny and the blood in Half-Blood Prince. Oh, okay, that's interesting. Never thought Danny may have actually given it to her. Don't know what that was. Shelley, stopped saying nightmare. Hole.
Your accent. Yeah.
Yeah. Creamed chip beef. Yeah. I don't know. What is it? I'm gonna have to Google it.
Karen just did. You'll see in a second.
Oh, okay. I'm getting there. I was wondering. I read that part this afternoon. M&Ms and tortillas. To become a mum. Teacher's pet. She never ate a thing. So Karen, I just Googled creamed chipped beef is like small pieces of salted beef in a creamy sauce served on toast. Well, she had buttered toast as well with that.
I'm gonna say this sounds more like one of your delicacies over there in the UK. That sounds like a UK delicacy to me.
I have never heard of
I'm not saying it is, but it just the way it's described sounds like it. You know, it doesn't sound like something we would eat over here.
Unless it's like
it must be.
Stroganoff.
Well, I guess. But
that's
you know what?
Mushroomy,
there are certain areas of the U.S. that eat different things, like they're delicate. You know what I mean? Like my mom loves gravy fries.
Oh.
Like fried chips, what you would call chips, and they just doused with like brown gravy, and she loves eating those. They had a diner up where she came from, and that's in Pennsylvania, completely opposite. You know, I'm down south. I was up north, so.
Yeah, interesting. Although it sounds a little high end for like a university, like, chipped. I'd have some creamed chipped beef today, please.
It just sounds gross.
It does. Beef on toast, Speedway Chicks put. It says it's a classic military dish, Karen said. Oh.
Karen here working the facts in.
We've all learned something.
Get out of here with the facts, Karen.
All we want is the smut. But yeah, I always say point horror is educational, and we've all learnt something today, and now we can all make the dish and see what it tastes like. Ooh, not sure about that. But yeah, so my favourite scene was the hedges. And no one in the comments, I don't think, has mentioned about the hedges, but that scene has been ingrained in my brain since I first read it, because it was just hilarious. Like, so she goes on this hot date with Jordan, who I hope we see in maybe a future point horror, and he gets killed off.
I want to know what Pete was going to say about Jordan, but we don't know.
Oh, yeah.
There was this whole thing that was left open, like, what's up with Jordan? And we don't know. Maybe that he plays pranks. That's all I can think of. He likes pranks and horror movies, didn't he, really? And he took Danny to see Psycho, which I thought was really funny. She's like, no, I don't want to watch that. She was like, I'm going for research. I thought it was quite funny. But yeah, that whole hedge scene where she just gets disorientated, so she sees this I don't know why it tickled me so much, this rabbit hedge. Yeah. Initially, and then Jordan like plays this prank on her, and she gets disorientated and like kind of falls into this like bear hedge. Yeah, let go of me. No. I'm like, he's probably just doing this, with his arms out. Let go of me. I'm like, I'm pretty sure he didn't do this. Oh God, but no, that bit to me was just hilarious, because I'll be honest, it's something that I would do. That I would totally get disorientated. I'd freak myself out, and then I'd think they were moving. Yeah, especially if it's dark. I could see, it could be kind of creepy a little bit, in the dark. Oh, but that scene, yeah, it was. I loved it. Eddie May's put, my daddy's from Kansas and called it. Oh shit! This on a shingle. on a shingle. Oh. Eddie May has put sorry for cursing, but I did say it. So. Yes, Karen, my daddy's ex-Navy. Oh, okay. Oh, look. My parents are both ex-Navy. Ah. That's where they met, so. Oh, that's so sweet. Karen, point horror cooking show with Shelley. Oh, dear. Episode 1, creamed chipped beef with a side of murder. I see a TikTok collab coming. Oh, yes. We need to do it, Dustin. We should do that, and then, like... Should we do it? We should. We should bake it both at the same time and, like, talk very Julia Child, Right. Have a little sherry, in the middle of it. That'd be great. Right, we're going to set that up. We're going to have to do it. Definitely. Now we've learned. But Raj has put, surely he will come back in a future Nightmare Hall book. So we're talking about Jordan. Yes. I really, really hope now that he does. Like, I didn't rate him. I was like, Jordan. Yeah. Well, the next one's Deadly Attraction, right? Yeah, so I've got that here. Maybe he's the Deadly Attraction. We don't know. So that's the next one. Okay. Deadly Attraction. Yeah, but does it say anything about Jordan in there? No mention of Jordan on the back. But maybe we'll have to have a little look out for that. I'm gonna have to order that one. I don't have that one. I only have these two, so. Yeah. And mine are numbered. Mine have numbers on them, so that's why I was like 1, 2. That's why I kind of wanted to go in order, because it already has the numbers. And I figured, and you know what though? If we had jumped around, we probably would have missed the whole "that's happened at the same time" thing. Yes, exactly. Yeah, so I'm glad we're kind of reading them in order as well, even though they can be read out of order, because it doesn't spoil. Same thing for Fear Street. You can do the same thing with that, so you don't have to. But it's nice to know, like, oh, this character shows up here and here and here. Yeah, definitely. Inside the covers put, point horror cooking channel, what a fab idea. Fried piranhas, anyone?
Marzipan Ponies put, we called it SOS, and my mum would add hard-boiled egg slices, and I loved it. This is like mind-blowing. I've never heard of this before.
I haven't either. And, somebody asked earlier, is this a thing with the M&Ms? And I can't remember who said it. And Eddie said, no, it's not. But inside the cover said, are M&Ms and tortillas a thing? And that's not. I've heard more of like maybe M&Ms and popcorn.
Popcorn, yeah.
Or like, Milk Duds or whatever and popcorn, but not anything with tortilla chips. That's a little weird.
No. It does sound a bit... I can't even imagine what it would taste like.
I think that's an element you need to add to your monthly point horror thing is if they mention a meal in the book, you make it.
Yeah, I think
and maybe
so.
Whoever your guest is can either make it with you or or you both can kind of make it. Find an easy recipe for it and then do it.
Yeah, I'm gonna. Yeah, definitely. We're gonna.
Or somebody wants to volunteer to do it.
Oh yeah, no, I think that's a good idea. I'd love to do that, and then at least like we're learning as we go along. It's so educational.
You're feeding yourself. It might not be good, but.
To become a mum's put, there must be some further cross references, like the later Scream films featured people inspired by the previous events. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I realised how much maybe effort was put into these Nightmare Hall books. I just thought they were just like little stories based at the same university, but I'm starting to realise there was actually a plan all along.
She must not have been able to write this. She might have, I bet you Diane Ho probably had the story set up and was like, I can't write this, I don't have time or something. And probably said, hey, can you write this? And they probably got the ghost writer aspect going.
I'm sure I did an interview with Diane Ho last year, and I did ask her about the ghost written books, and I'm sure she said I don't think she knew about them. I can't remember. I'll see if I can find the answer to what she put. But yeah, I think she put it was kind of out of her hands, and she just did what she was told basically, and wrote what she was told to write. But I'll double check what she put. I had chocolate buttons and popcorn whilst watching tonight. Ooh, didn't bring any snacks. How about steak tartar, Shelley? What's steak tartar?
Oh, tartar.
Tartar?
Yeah.
That's what I say when I say bye-bye. I go tartar.
Yeah, tartar, yes.
Oh, tartar.
No, not tata.
Tartar. Oh,
it's called
no.
it's called steak tartare. Yeah.
Oh no, dear. Oh, okay. What is it?
I don't know. I just know what it's called. I know how you say it. I've never had it.
What is it, Edu? Marzipan Ponies put, I feel like a lot of point horror authors were from the Midwest and we eat some weird stuff here. Oh dear.
What I was going to ask was because some of the stuff that she ate, have you had grits or anything like that before?
No, I don't know what grits are. What
it's
are they?
It's almost like cornmeal. It's just a little thicker.
Oh,
and
okay.
It's corn. It is all corn. It's all white though, and then it's just that with mixing water and boiled water, and you can make it thick or thin. It just depends on how you like. Some people like it lumpy. Some of them like it just smooth. You can add. A lot of people add syrup or honey to it if they want to make it a little sweet. I just put butter and salt and pepper, and that's how I eat it. But I love it. So if you ever come to the States, we'll meet up and we'll go to Waffle House.
Oh yeah, definitely.
That's where I like my stuff from. So
and then we'll have a breakfast as fit as Danny's breakfast was. Eddie's video said that was a Waxwork reference. Don't make me say it again. Steak tartar.
Okay, Marzipan Pony, we're not talking about the toothbrush thing right now, okay? I'm just kidding. You see what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Raw beef pounded flat. God, I better save this chat after in case it gets taken down.
Oh my God, yeah.
Oh dear, fingers crossed it won't. Eddie Mays, but do any of the Nightmare Hall books talk more about Nightmare Hall or any of the hauntings there? I would say the first one, I would say, definitely. I don't remember much mention in the others other than just a brief mention, but I would say definitely the silent scream. Raw
I'm actually going to walk into my kitchen while we're talking because I actually have a box of grits. It's an instant grits thing, so it's not like the best, but it's okay.
Oh, okay.
So,
we're getting a house tour from Dustin.
a little bit. I had to step over this little gate because I had to block the dogs from getting into the cat litter box. But
dear.
Yeah. So
I'll just put. She really wants to try grits now.
Yeah. So this is some grits. These are Quaker Oats grits. That's what they kind of look like.
Oh, okay.
You could put other things in them if you want. They're kind of they're smooth but kind of thick, but
okay.
They're pretty good.
I've never seen that before.
They're kind of oatmeal-y, but they're not the same texture or anything. It's a little different texture than oatmeal. It's more grainy. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah, definitely. I wonder if you can get that over here. I've never seen it.
Possibly. You probably have like in the American section of your grocer.
Yeah, so inside the covers put porridge. Is it porridge?
No, it's not. It's not the same as porridge.
Yeah.
I know that much.
Oats, isn't it?
I've never had porridge, but I know it's not the same.
Yeah. Eddie Mays, but yeah, save the chat because I tried to write Hall earlier and it asked if I wanted to report it. Oh no! Oh god!
Oh yeah, because they'll say stuff like, "A lot of people who are on this don't talk this way." I'm like, get over yourself.
But I always remember Emma tried to put a comment in one of the chats, and it was something. Oh, it was something Skip from the lifeguard said, like "you crazy females," and it like blocked the comment and sent her like a naughty like tap on the hand for trying to say it. Yeah, thanks for showing us that, Dustin. That was like,
you're welcome.
Interesting.
Oh, the ladies from Doom Generation joined. Yay!
Oh, you've
One
missed all the.
Oh, just wait! You've missed all the naughty talk. It was great. You're gonna have to watch. You're gonna have to make a highlight of that just alone. The toothbrush talk. So.
Oh, no. And Lisa's put you can get it on Amazon. So grits is it? We can get on Amazon. Oh, okay. Hi, Doom Generation Pod. Well, I know everyone was here for Point Horror Chat, but we kind of like got distracted by food chat.
Well, I mean, her food was there was amazing. A big thing about that food. It was great, but
yeah, no, definitely. So to finish off then, overall,
don't say finish off. We're not finishing anybody off here, okay? Sorry, okay, keep going. Sorry.
Oh god.
You want me to take it over? Okay. All right. What did we think overall of this book? Was it a thumbs up or a thumbs down? Give us that little emoji. Thumbs up or thumbs down, people. Let us know what you thought.
Oh god, I'm literally like crying. Yeah, so overall, what did you think, Dustin? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Were you a bit meh about it?
I liked it at the end when I found like I fully understood what was going on. You know, I did like it. It wasn't my favorite, obviously. I didn't hate it, but it wasn't my favorite because there was no big suspenseful thing. It was just all in her head, and it was like, and it was very kind of slowly paced to get there, and it should have gone faster. I think there should have been a little bit more. There should have been a death of some sort, or at least a longer killer stalking sequence, you know, or something. But there wasn't. There was just a lot of, I got a mirror. I got a message on the mirror. Oh, I got a phone call that no one else heard. You know, and a few infighting of roommates, and that was about it. So.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. And like, can you just imagine Danny just writing those little notes to herself on the mirror? Bless her.
And then going, "Oh my God," and totally forgetting that she did it. You know?
Yeah, that's true. That is true. There's a lot of thumbs up going on. So, Speedway Chicks, but has anyone put the book into Goodreads? Why?
It is in Goodreads. I just haven't updated mine.
I think
I meant
it
to update
is.
it.
Yeah, because I think so. To answer my own question, did I like the book? So if you go on my Goodreads, initially when I reread it, say 7 years ago, which was like a first reread from the 90s, I rated it as 2 stars. So I was like, no, I really didn't like this book. Nothing happened. Where's like all the proper stalking? Where's the death? Where's this? But on the reread this time, I think I appreciated it more. So it went up a star. I would say 3
Yeah.
star.
I'd say about
on my
3 stars.
Goodreads.
Somewhere in the middle. Yeah.
Yeah. So I did. It's probably not one of my worst point horror books that I would say now. It's probably been removed from that category because I actually think I did enjoy it more this time. Mainly for Lacey, but also because I did think the writing was quite clever in the end.
Mm-hmm.
Like, people who have read Deathkins is going to hate me for saying that because she doesn't get a good rap, as I say.
But you know what? Maybe she did better in this one because there was no pressure to like.
Yeah.
It's not her series, you know. So she's like, I just write whatever I want, and then maybe it came out a little better than her other ones. I don't know.
Yeah,
I never read the other ones, but I've heard a lot of people don't like them. So
yeah, we'll have to do the cemetery at some point. It'd be interesting to see how it compares. Now we've read this one, and we know it's not an authentic DIANE. It's not an authentico. So yeah, Marzipan Pony put 90s me would be thumbs up. Current me is like, I like it, but I shouldn't. Yeah, that's kind of how I feel a little bit. Eddie Mays put the chat is way more interesting than the book. Is it because we lowered the tone? Farrah's put, I mean, meh-ish. I like the end. Yes. Like, what the... it could always be faster, Dustin. Hang on, what are we talking about, Lisa?
I know. I went, wait, and I think she means like the speed of the book, the pacing of the book.
I'm glad you cleared that one up.
Right. But let's hope.
Overdue said, thumbs up the chat, laughy face. The book was okay. This was my first nightmare haul. So it's really interesting that it was some people's first nightmare haul. You could tell it was ghost written for sure. Now that's interesting. So now you know it's ghost written. Can you tell that it wasn't DIANE Ho's writing? Yeah.
Well, I only know this is my first DIANE Ho, and my only DIANE Ho, the first one.
Yeah.
So I don't really know her writing style yet, but it does feel like something about the characters was fleshed out more in hers. As far as like, you know what I mean, like giving them more to do and more, you know, and it felt like, I don't know, something about it was fleshed out a little bit more. It's obviously the first one is also thicker. You can tell it's a lot thicker than the other one. But
yeah, definitely.
So that could be it. But there was also a lot of, exposition to get to the setup of the whole series, you know. But
yeah, no, I agree with that. Definitely. Eddie May, this was my first point horror book, and I liked it for the mystery, but I love it for getting to be here in the chat. Oh my God, what fun. You can't take me and Dustin anywhere, honestly.
No.
Terrible. No. A lot of interesting titles come up. All Nightmare Hall books are on Goodreads. That's good to know. I think they did some audio books of them as well. That I think you'd have to check if you've got Audible. I'm not sponsored by Audible, but if you've got Audible, I think you can download them for free. I think some of the Nightmare Hall audio books.
You might be able to, especially if you have like and I know if you have Kindle Unlimited, some of it's probably on there too.
Yeah, definitely. Karen's put, I really like this book purely because I had no idea who was doing all the evil stuff. I like that. It fooled Karen. And that's quite hard to do,
She keeps
Karen.
bringing up the piranhas, and I didn't read anything about the piranha. I didn't read that book. But one of these days, one of us is going to send her a dang piranha.
It's going to happen, Karen. A real one. Snappy, snappy. Yeah, I'd give it 4.5 stars, Karen said. This is so interesting. I like the vibe of it and the fact I didn't hate all the characters like in a few other point horrors. Nikki said on the fence. It's painful sat here though. Why, Nikki? Why is it painful? Quick question. Being new to point horror, Eddie May's asked, what is the one book I should absolutely read? Oh, that's a good question. What do you think, Dustin?
I don't know about which book you should read, but I think if you want to try an author, I would go, my first point horror author was Richie Tankersley Cusick, which got me into it, and I just love the way she writes. It's very dialogue driven and very twisted. There's more, it's more, I want to say, Twilight Zone Hitchcockian type of stories with her.
Yeah.
And they're really good. And R.L. Stine is, if you've read any R.L. Stine, you pretty much have read a point horror book. Like they're pretty much the same. So if you want to just ease your way into it, you could go with R.L. Stine. But I like Richie Tanker's RTC. So that's who I like.
No, I'm the same. Rich Tankersley is my favourite point horror writer. And I always say, anyone starting out on point horror, I always recommend The Babysitter by R.L. Stine because I think it gives a good vibe of of point horror and what we expect. It's got all the good classic.
Someone's in the house thing. Yeah.
And I always say, Rich Tankersley, Trick or Treat. And my personal favourite is Fatal Secrets.
Okay, I haven't read that one.
I just love that book, and I've always loved it.
I really like Teacher's Pet, like somebody mentioned a second ago.
Teacher's Pet, and that was good. You can't go wrong there. Unfortunately, my first point horror I read was a Sinclair Smith, The Waitress. And since I've reread some Sinclair Smith, I'm too scared to reread The Waitress in case it shatters my dreams. But I should I should read it. A few people saying The Hitchhiker. Melina's confirmed some audiobooks on Audible for free if you subscribe. Eddie's video, The Babysitter. So Eddie's first one was Fun House. That was when me and Eddie first started chatting. Trick or Treat, Hitchhiker. Yeah, Hitchhiker was good. Although I'm convinced it wasn't an authentic Stein, that I think it was Ghost Written, but that's just my opinion.
And The Babysitter has there's 4 Babysitter books. There's 3 sequels to The Babysitter, so FYI. And each one gets crazier and crazier. By the 4th one, I think Stein gave up and was just like, I'll just trick them. I haven't read those. I've only read the first 2, but
it's I'll have to do them because it's it would be quite funny, the 4th one. Please send me a piranha. I'll call him Fluffy. No, Karen, he won't be Fluffy. He'll be going.
You call him Sharpie.
Oh yeah. The Lifeguard, Farah said, is still one of my favourites, which we did a few months ago, and Teacher's Pet we did a few months ago. Lots of recommendations there. Eddie May, your bank balance is going to be thanking you later.
You got to calm down. Trust me, I did this through lockdown, and I even mentioned this in my last episode of Dustin Can Read. We're reading the Christopher Pike book, and I bought way too many things. I still have not read. I'm like, I have all these, a lot of these. I didn't read any of these yet. These are all Ricky Tankersley Cusick and somebody else. I don't even know who that is. But Peter Lorangas. Oh, I didn't realize I had one of his before. Yeah,
good old Peter.
Yeah, so I got 2 of his up there, and they're from the 2000s. So so I got a lot of these I haven't even read yet. I just have them. I just haven't gotten to them yet.
Once you start, you never stop. behind me, I've like started collecting these nightmare books here. Oh, hang on,
Mm-hmm.
where's my finger? Like here, these nightmare ones.
Yeah.
Then I've got like the Point Horror Unleashed, like the other side here. Yeah, so I've started collecting these nightmare ones. Raj has been helping me. Bless you, thank you, Raj. But yeah, once you start, you just like it's like a slippery slope.
Yeah, it is. It's definitely.
Yeah. Ghost in the Pages just said The Fever by Dan Ho was always a favourite.
Fever!
The Fever! Fever! In there's like a wheelchair scene where it was like this runaway wheelchair down a hill. So that's all I remember in that. I don't know if someone was in it.
Wasn't that from Children of the Corn? Or one of the Children of the Corns?
Maybe.
Like somebody gets some woman in a wheelchair and the kids are like they push her down the street into traffic. I don't know. Anyway.
Oh dear. What I'll do, I'll put The Fever in like a future vote. Someone just mentioned The Window, so that's in a vote that's coming up in December. So maybe if you vote for that, we can do that one because I quite like that one. Marzipan Ponies put my bank balance doesn't hate me quite as much. It's an addiction. Yeah, it is, Marsh. Yeah. Oh, yeah, and you can request from the library too, Overdue Notice said. You can always request them from the library. And Karen's put, I still love that Peter Larangis sent the group a video message. So, yeah, so when we did the yearbook in January, I kindly asked Peter if he would send us a message, and he did. So that's on my feed somewhere. And, it's so lovely.
The ones I have are Exile and Return to Exile.
Yeah,
I've never read these, so
yeah. So that was when they brought Point Horror back for a little bit in the 2000s. Was it 2002? I want to say
this was 2003.
2003. Yeah. It didn't quite take off, and some of them are quite bad.
And I don't think this is Point Horror, but it's still Richie Tankersley-Cusick's. It's the Unseen series, and that came out. I still haven't read these, and I want to. It's just. But these came out in 2003 as well. So.
Yes, that was part of the relaunch. So I've not read those. I've read a couple of I think you have as well, Dustin, a couple of the, was it Identity Thief?
Oh.
Where they tried to bring Point Horror back.
Oh my God, it's horrible. It's Identity Thief and Defriended.
That's it, Defriended.
I don't know what these people, what crack pipe they were smoking from when they were writing that garbage, but it was bad.
And I think there was one called Wikipedia or something, and I've read that one and I was like, what happened to Point Horror?
They just were like, anybody want to write anything, just give it to us, we'll publish it. That's what it felt like.
So I have high hopes that Wikipedia,
they were all very internet based. I think there was like 4 of those, and then they did like Peter Larangis and Richie Tankersley-Cusick did some. So I have more faith in that those would be better than the other ones. But maybe we'll have to do one. I think someone did put in a request for like to do one of the new ones. So maybe we'll have I did 2 of those. I did Identity Theft and
cool.
Defriended on my show.
Yes.
So.
Oh yeah, definitely. We'll check them out for sure. I'm growing my Stephen King collection. Everything else I head to the library. Yeah.
Unfollowed. Yeah.
Unfollowed. Yeah. Oh dear, they were bad. So bad.
But they might be good to chat about, so you know.
Yeah. We'll have to do one. But anyway, we have been chatting for a very, very long time.
A good 90 minutes almost, yes.
But do you know what, Dustin? It's always fun to have you on, and like it's been absolutely great. So come back again soon. And in fact, you are, because next Sunday we're doing a movie chat.
Yes.
Next Sunday, My Best Friend's Exorcism.
Yes.
So that's the movie chat, not the book. As the movie comes out on Friday, I believe, on Prime.
Same. Okay, everybody, you have to make it a good movie weekend next weekend. You got Hocus Pocus 2.
Yeah.
And you've got the new My Best Friend's Exorcism, which is going to be on Prime.
Yeah.
So
much to watch. And then upcoming, we've got Midnight Club coming as well.
Yes.
And Wednesday, which they've really put in November and not October, but Who are we?
It does not make sense whatsoever. And you know what, though? When they posted that, everybody was saying, what is wrong with you, Netflix? Like, it doesn't make sense.
I wonder what they were worried that it was going up against. Like, do you know what I mean? I wonder whether they were worried it was going to not do well because it was up against something else. Maybe Midnight.
I think they underestimate the people who love Halloween, you know?
Yeah, no, definitely. I agree with that. But yeah, if you've read My Best Friend's Exorcism, or if you just want to watch the film when it comes out on Friday, come and join us because Dustin's joining us. So it's going to be fun. He's joining me, Josh, and Emma. So yeah, we're going to have fun chatting about that, especially about Brother Lemon, because the guy playing him I love. So yeah, I'll be going on about that. But yeah, thanks to everyone who's joined in, and like fab comments as always. And I think we're doing next month, we're doing an anthology, so the 13 anthology. And I've got a good guest lined up for that as well. So I just want, before I announce it, I just want to double check that is going ahead. But as a clue, it's someone who likes clowns. Hopefully. Fingers crossed. But yeah, thanks guys, and thanks Dustin.
Thank you for having me again, and great to see you guys again.
You. Oh, and I'm just going to go and shut that buzzing off now. All right, so it's been going off the whole time. Thanks guys.
Bye.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye.